The cold spot I mentioned before in the sky, it's being replaced by some kind of really hot substance, peaking at 500 degrees, 600, 700. I think this might be an alien wormhole. I really think that... Wait, someone's coming back onto the porch. They're coming out with a woman. Oh God. No, it can't be. Eagle 5, can we get a drone?
Cisco 30, we are still charging the drone from earlier, but I can change the batteries and I can send it up.
Phillip, look.
What? No. Oh no, that's him.
That's the same person I saw.
And he's with someone called Megan Cortez. White Hispanic female, 21 years old.
Megan Cortez and an alien. They're looking up into the hot spot, which is now approaching 1,500 degrees. It's expanding towards the ground, and it just contacted the body of the man who was being carried by the cows earlier. He's convulsing, it looks like. The alien couple looks like they're holding hands and watching very calmly. The temperature now at 2,000 degrees and rising. What? Okay, never mind. Okay, it just dropped and...
Look!
Holy shit!
Timmy Vilgiate presents Rivers of the Mind Season 2.5, starring Phillip as Timmy Vilgiate, Grace and Marcia as Michelle Pearl, Agent Carter and Dusty as Collin Estes, and the Chief as Aaron Mayfield. This is Episode 2.
Not more than a few minutes passed before I got the call from the chief. I saw his number and figured I was about to get called in, so I tried to move as far away as possible so he couldn't tell where I was. And sure enough, it was about the explosion. I needed to head in. Figured it'd be all hands on deck. Now back at the station, the parking lot was filled with cars. 2 tall men in digital camouflage uniforms with M16s stood out front. I double-checked my uniform before I strode inside. The front lobby was packed like a can of sardines. Marcia stood up when she saw me.
Fancy seeing you here on the weekend.
Yeah, I heard there's some kind of party or something going on.
Yep, in the conference room. It's been really weird. The CIA is here, and the Army. Something is up.
Huh. Say, we're still on for tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How about this? If anything fishy happens in there, I'll fill you in on it. She looked over my shoulder to see Grace come in through the door. Her expression soured.
Don't get yourself in trouble, Phillip. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hand on her temple in frustration, Grace strode up to us.
Conference room?
Marcia nodded to her.
Great. Thanks.
And my partner and I headed through the door,
Alright,
where the hallway was caught in a flurry of conversation. I could hear phones ringing off the hook in police dispatch.
So, you and Marcia, huh?
No, ain't nothing happened between me and Marcia.
Phillip, your face is red as a goddamn tomato.
Alright. We are going out for coffee. And it turns out both of us have an interest in French Impressionism.
French Impressionism, huh? I haven't heard that one before. I got the impression she was more interested in the dramatic arts.
The dramatic arts?
Cuckoo, cuckoo, watch out! I'm gonna get myself a bagel. You want one?
Yeah, sure. It's fine. I'll save you a spot.
Alright, see you in a little.
Most of the people were still either trickling in or standing up, so I made sure I secured 2 of the only 4 swivel chairs for Grace and I. Only one person was there that I didn't recognize. A sour-looking man in a suit, wearing a pair of dark square glasses with thick plastic frames. He didn't talk to anyone. He just sat at the end of the table, studying each person who trickled in with a penetrating, mealy look in his eyes. The chief sat next to him, fidgeting a little bit, trying to munch on a bagel as he looked over at the people trickling in. The sheriff sat right across from him. Most of his deputies were huddled over in a corner, probably scheming about how to get their hands on all the best bagels in the box, as usual. Grace sat down next to me, passed me a bagel and a cup of coffee. A plain bagel. I knew it. Anytime those deputies come in here for a meeting, they always eat all the good bagels. Just ain't right. There was a silent code of honor between partners in the local police department that at departmental meetings, one partner had to get bagels and coffee, while the other person had to try to claim the swivel chairs. It wasn't one of those life or death codes of honor, but you still had to take it seriously.
I'd heard the explosion from my kid's soccer game. Soon as it happened, I knew 2 things. First thing, I was gonna get called in on my goddamn day off. Second thing, Dusty was right. Something strange was going on. Gave me nightmares last night. I kept thinking about that girl, Marianne. I imagined finding her body and trying to tell people, but no one would listen to me. I had a migraine now. Couldn't sleep. When I woke up, my husband had moved to the couch again, apparently because I was tossing and turning, and now there was something else. Something else I didn't know how to even talk about. It had happened right after the explosion. Everyone's kids froze still. Couldn't move all of a sudden. I saw this man. This old man. He looked like a walking corpse, dragging a fishing pole across the field, and behind him there was a roar. This awful roar. Everything went black. I had this terrible feeling that I was dead. Everyone was dead. I remembered flickers of it, and then I woke up, and everyone was normal again. But when I looked at my husband, at the other parents alongside the field, they all looked disturbed. Like they knew as well as I did that something terrible had just happened to them. Like they'd all seen the fishermen and heard the roar in the distance, felt the universe die, and then go right back to normal. I kept thinking about it, but I couldn't remember the substance of what had really happened. None of it. Only flickers. I wanted to tell Phillip, but I couldn't find the words to explain it.
Something was bothering Grace, and I couldn't shake the feeling that it was me and Marcia. Much as I didn't want to speculate that she might have been jealous of us. The chief stood up and called out,
"All right, everyone, please get to your seats. We gotta make this quick. I'm gonna pass around a sheet. If you can sign your name, Agent Carter can get this briefing underway so that we can get you all back out there."
Thank you, Chief Bentley. As you all just heard, my name is Agent Milton Carter. I'm a counterintelligence specialist originally from Northern Virginia. Some of you may have spoken with me before. Just to clarify, before I brief you on the situation, you have to understand that as this is a matter of national security, you cannot speak to the press until a full briefing has been completed. If anything leaks, I can and will have you court-martialed, and you will face criminal charges. To start with the basics, at about 11 p.m. last night, our data collection facility intercepted a text message sent from a person on the no-fly list who we believe to be connected with the Islamic State to an individual in the Topaz Heights neighborhood. Several months ago, some concerned citizens tipped us off to what turned out to be a so-called sleeper cell in the area, preparing to detonate a dirty bomb and to conduct several coordinated mass shootings across the state of Texas. The team planned their attack for today. While preparing for a drive to a Los Lonely Boys concert in San Antonio, the terrorists inadvertently detonated their device. Since we had already planned an operation to intercept them, the Army was in the area and was well prepared to assist with managing the disaster. I do need to advise you all, however, that several days prior to the foiled Los Lonely Boys attack, an elaborate video was posted to a YouTube channel associated with a certain Dean Heyerdahl, a name we suspect to be a pseudonym, wherein a man reportedly was visited by an alien. This Heyerdahl has gained repute on certain dark corners of the web since then for unfounded rumors about the water treatment facility. As you all know, we do maintain a data collection center there, where we have a small detachment of soldiers and computer scientists. However, Heyerdahl seems to have convinced a sizable number of people that the base is, in fact, not what it appears to be from the outside. That is, in fact, some kind of alien research facility, a retired mind control laboratory, that sort of thing. Heyerdahl claimed that the, quote, alien had warned him of a coming extraterrestrial event on February 11th, 2017. He used his influence to organize a group of people that has been monitoring the city with hidden cameras, drones, and other specialized equipment. We are concerned about the size, scope, and coordination of his efforts. In all likelihood, Heyerdahl is not a lone wolf, but a code name for a covert organization of people, possibly connected with ISIS, possibly connected with foreign intelligence. If anyone seems to take an inordinate amount of interest in the site of the accident, please report them to me and we will take care of it from there. Be careful who you talk to about this incident. We have reason to believe that this Heyerdahl figure and his organization have infiltrated multiple levels of society, ranging from city government to ordinary fast food restaurants. Now that that's out of the way, we can discuss the security measures we need to take. We need to have patrols stationed at Lagrange Way, Lookout Lane, and Samuel B. Edwards Road, the three main entrances to the Topaz Hills neighborhood. We also need help with security around a temporary field hospital and the press station we've set up near the sinkhole. Helicopters will be sweeping the perimeter of the incident, and we will need patrols to help distribute water, food, and propane to people in the surrounding neighborhoods. Some government land is being opened up to provide temporary housing, and we'll need some help from local law enforcement to help people move in and feel at ease as we survey the damage.
The sheriff, all of them said some more words, sort of added their little bits of inspiration or gumption or what have you, but none of them really said all that much. It was easy to tune out. Easy to get fixated instead on the expression of that smug bastard Agent Carter while they were talking. His beady blue eyes, slicked back hair. He leaned back in his chair like he wanted to laugh, looking down his nose at whoever was talking. Seemed impatient to get out of here, to get away from all this local heat. We made him uncomfortable. Well, I could see it in the way he looked around the room. Sure, must have been thinking, give all these local buffoons something good to do while they deal with the real emergency. Goddamn alien invasion. This all probably seemed petty to him. All of it. Or maybe he wasn't even in charge. Could have just been some rookie sent out to play agent. Give us locals some way to feel like we were handling things out here. I'd seen it with my own two eyes, and I felt like they wanted me to think I was crazy. It was hard not to walk across that room and wrap my hands around that little shit's throat, watching him just lie right to our faces. We made eye contact across the table.
Rough-looking local guy, sort of a cowboy type, was looking at me from down the table, glaring at me. Could see his trigger finger itching from the moment he heard the words ISIS. The cover story was a hook, but I was worried we were playing with fire, feeling some kind of animosity. These people were getting angry, real angry, and I knew that could be dangerous trying to maintain a sensitive operation like this. Real people, honest people, that the police officers in front of me likely knew had lost their homes, their livelihoods in some cases, redirecting their anger and sadness onto some imaginary foreigner fed into something dark, something primal, dangerous. As assignments went out, people hustled to weave their ways toward the door and jog out to the parking lot. I backed away, keeping an eye on the officers to see if I could pick out anyone suspicious. Anyone who might know the truth behind this Dean Heyerdahl fellow. Someone who might be working with him. Months and months of trying to track him down, and he seemed closer to me than ever before. The chief patted me on the shoulder, interrupting my train of thought.
All right, I need 2 of you to stay with Agent Carter to help with security at the field hospital. Phillip, Grace, how about you 2?
The officer who'd been staring at me, still looking unsettled, followed his female partner up towards the front of this room, sidestepping and sashaying between people exiting the doors. I take it you're Phillip.
No, I'm Grace. This here's Phillip.
Say, haven't I seen you someplace? Didn't you man the roadblock at the data facility the night of the water main break?
The way he asked it almost seemed so self-satisfied, his voice sneering. Like he knew exactly what they'd done to me. Like he almost took joy coming face to face with one of the lab rats.
Say, haven't I seen you someplace? Didn't you man the roadblock at the data facility the night of that water main break?
Well, you might have.
Something was off about this fellow, almost like he was mocking me. Like he saw straight through my cover story. Like he took joy in flaunting this fact. He looked off to the side, raising his eyebrows and almost rolling his eyes as he said,
Well, you might have.
hell was this guy's problem?
Or maybe I was.
Maybe I was the problem.
All this time I've been acting suspicious of him, so sure enough.
I didn't trust him, and perhaps it showed. Maybe he just intuitively didn't trust my story because
He didn't trust
my
me.
distrust showed through.
And our mutual suspicion of one another fed off of itself. Heck, maybe he really believes that cover story. Maybe he's just as clueless as all these other sheep at.
He's probably just as scared and confused as the rest of these people.
Hello, folks! Thank you for listening to Rivers of the Mind Season 2.5. Rivers of the Mind is written and produced by me, Timmy Vilgiate, and features the vocal talents of Michelle Pearl as Grace and Marcia, Collin Estes as Agent Carter and Dusty, and Aaron Mayfield as the Chief. I'd like to give a shout out to Michelle Pearl, who was flexible enough to meet with me to emergency record scenes in this episode and the next episode that I forgot to record the first time around. If you'd like to support Rivers of the Mind with money, you can go on to patreon.com/Timmy Vilgiate, spelled Vilgiate, and pledge a monthly amount, which helps support hosting the podcast. And an update on that from last week. Even though I did not actually wait for new Patreon subscribers to buy a recorder, and I bought a recorder. It was a cheap dollar store recorder, and I ended up jamming out on it in some of the music that you'll eventually hear in Season 3. I also accidentally canceled my Hulu subscription, so I didn't really get to watch The Handmaid's Tale. Sorry for being such a poser. Any of the money you send me in excess of the hosting fees will now go to not helping me starve in Brazil when I go there next week. And after that, it will go to providing coffee and stuff to the actors, who are all wonderful people that I appreciate very much, and I would like to buy coffee for. Again, thanks for listening and have a great day.